All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marie Etienne. I'm the chairwoman for the NOMI Commission for Women. At this time, I'd like for us to stand, let's look at our agenda and get approval first before we can officiate. All right, we have the agenda.
You have it?
Yes. All right, so we'll call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with roll call. Madam Vice Chair.
Present.
Dr. Naomi Blumeux. Norissa Glickman, Nori. Dr. Magda Demerit.
Present.
And Mrs. Rose Campier.
Present.
Dr. Emanuela Fleurmont. She's been excused for this evening. Okay. We do have quorum. At this time, I would like to ask if you have any amendment to the agenda.
Not from me.
None?
None.
Okay, hearing none. We'll go ahead and start with the approval of minutes. Okay, so we will table the minutes and we will now introduce Madam Vice Chair. Yes. She's coming. She wanted to introduce them officially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Good evening, Women's Commission.
Good evening, Madam Vice
Good
Chairwoman.
evening. Oh my God, it is a pleasure to see you up here. Believe it or not, this is the first time, but I know what's been going on, but this is the first time I've been here. I just first of all want to publicly thank you for your service. I'm just so happy that my colleagues were able to buy into the vision to make sure that we create an ordinance to have this Commission for Women, as it is very important that we are looking at all aspects of women's lives in the city of North Miami and see how we can make it better. Because, you know, when we take care of us, we actually take care of the nation. And so I just want to thank you for your service again. Also, I'd like to make sure that I let you know who your new liaison is going to be. So we've had the opportunity of having Akira Bias, and she is a phenomenal addition to our North Miami family. She is assisting the Office of District 3, and so she is going to be your liaison moving forward. I am sure that you are going to love her, as she's very professional. She has a master's in health, health and public health, and she's already been a blessing to our city, so and I'm sure she will be a blessing to you as well. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to our District 3 Constituent Coordinator and the Women's Commission Liaison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So as Vice Mayor mentioned, my name is Akira Bias. I'm the new Constituent Service Coordinator as well as your liaison. I'm really excited. As you mentioned before, I do have a master's in public health, so I love to bring my perspective with health initiatives, especially with Black women, women in general, we are at a disadvantage in addition to their counterparts. So I'd love to come in with research, maybe propose some new ideas so we could work together, create new initiatives so that way we can be healthy and look out for each other, especially given that it's Women Breast Cancer Awareness Month, or Breast Cancer Awareness Month in general, rather, and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Women are affected as well as men, so it's good to bring up these issues. So I look forward to being a part of just the Commission for Women and being your liaison. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Welcome.
Any questions for Ms. Bites?
No, but I will like to say thank you for jumping right in and supporting and responding and just being a real breath of fresh air. Thank you for your work already so far.
Thank you, thank you. Likewise, I love it. Like, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you, working together. You guys are super excited, and I'm excited, so I feel like we can make a lot of change together. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Dr. Lemire, any question for Ms. Bias?
No, again, I echo Dr. Demerit. You jumped right in with great ideas and some ways to streamline things, and so we're looking forward to working with you. Welcome to North Miami.
Thank you, thank you.
Anybody else? Well, I just love the enthusiasm, and it's always good to have breath of fresh air in the room, and you walk and you light up. It's a good sign. All right, so thank you very much, Madam Vice Chairwoman. Madam Vice Chairwoman, any questions? Any other thoughts before we go to new discussion?
No, we can move forward.
All right. Well, everybody knows the reason we're here is because we all been appointed to serve. And of course, our Vice Mayor, Mayor Estimate Irvin, is the one that, this is her brainchild. And so we want to say thank you. Every time you're in the room, we have to say thank you to you for this opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
So we thought what we would do at this meeting is really to start the discussion and to give a recap of last year's accomplishments. And we want to give special thanks to Dr. Magda Demerit for leading our group chat. She created a group chat for us to communicate among ourselves to better plan the agenda beforehand as a team. And we want to give you thanks for that, and also coordinated our last couple of meetings we've had. So moving forward with that, let's go ahead and start with last year's recap. It was my vision for us to show pictures, because I believe pictures tells it all. But we did not get to do that because, as you all know, I've had quite an exciting weekend this week, and I had lost my voice completely, but thankfully I'm back, and so I'm thankful for that. And so what I would like to propose is for us to go ahead and give the recap of what we have done, and we will show our video at a later time, because we want to make sure it looks good, and we want to make sure all commissioners participate and give their input. All right? So I will start by saying, everybody knows last April 2022, April 19th, there was our first meeting up here. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know what to say. And so we got elected on the position. And so we have, we've met and we've created some projects. And I want to start off on a month-to-month basis. So I'll go ahead and start with April. We were inducted April 2022, and got elected. And then we had our meeting. We had our June installation in June 2022. And of course, we've had our meeting in July. We recessed during the summer. And we jumped at a couple of opportunities. We were invited to Sunny Isle Commission to actually present to the women to see if they want to replicate and create their own commission, because they do not have a commission for women. And so Nori, myself, and Dr. Flermont, we presented on behalf of our team, and we told them that we think it's much needed. We recommend every city to have this commission because we're addressing issues that are unique, and we want to make sure that we serve our constituents well. And so they really liked the idea, and we wanted to do a follow-up by inviting one of the commissioners to our meeting to present, but something happened, she could not. Another opportunity we had in May, I had the opportunity to attend the Miami-Dade County Commission for Women, and I observed their meeting and looked at some of the items that they were discussing on their agenda, which I think all concerns of women. Mostly, they were focusing on victim advocates, things they had police, they had services, people with resources for victims, and those were the concern that evening, and we were able to exchange dialogue, and we took pictures, and so that was to the vice mayor who had invited me to that meeting, so that was good. Moving forward, as a result of that particular meeting, from attending the Miami-Dade County Commission for Women, I looked at their bylaws and shared the bylaws with the team to see if we could create our own bylaws, and which we did, and our bylaws were approved. And we also picked up some of the concerns that they felt that were priorities to address for women. And of course, violence was one of them, heart disease, breast cancer, and so on. And we looked at the Miami-Dade County Annual Report, and we looked at the City of North Miami Annual Report, and Dr. Demerit summarized, analyzed the data. You want to talk about that, Dr. D? Just basically what that process was like.
So so we took the information that was provided on the county level, and basically I went in and did a deep dive into our internet, and just to kind of see what those numbers look like for the city of North Miami. And some of the things that came up isn't surprising. Housing was a big thing where we have a large percentage of women, almost half.
Give it up.
Yeah, almost half of the women in the city do not own their own property, so they're renters. So that was a big thing to kind of look at home ownership and what we could do to support that. Let me see here. Healthcare and wellness was a big component that came up for us. Nutrition, exercise, mental health, prenatal care, safety, chronic illness, insurance access and coverage. Business startup workshops and education was another one that was important, and homebuyer workshops and education. So based on all of the research from the annual report, the Miami-Dade County report, and research that was conducted via the internet, those were the three main components that really spoke to the needs of and also in collaboration with our survey, some of the responses from the survey that we conducted at our first event. Those were the things that came up as dominant issues for us to look at and work and address.
Okay, so I would call that almost like a needs assessment. And we want to thank Dr. Demerit for that looking at the data, because data, we don't make decisions just by making decisions. We rather look at the data. And so I want to share with the public that the group worked together and developed the survey using a QR code. And that survey was shared at the Tea Party. And so I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but I do want to say that after we looked at the data, we decided that we would formulate an agenda, almost like a calendar of activities that we would worked on, and we basically said the first thing we would need to do is to survey the women of the city to see what the needs are, and so that's where we had the QR code. And then, you know, being that we're new at this, we were new, and we were being invited to different activities in the community. One of the activities we're invited, and I'm moving now to August, is MJD Wellness and Community Center. We were invited to their annual gala and festival, and they were honoring women and calling empowerment of women. And within that session, they also did HIV education for the attendees, and so we thought that was very, very useful. At our meetings, you know, we always invite, you know, everyone to attend. We know it's hard on a Tuesday evening, but if you're watching us live, we would love for you to come and participate with us at these meetings. And along that line, we had a representative from Barry University who shared information about their programs, and so that was good. We also had a presentation done by by Dave, and he's from the Greater Chamber of North Miami, and he presented. It was in October as well. He presented, and so I wanted to share that we did participate in the HIV Primary Care and Prevention Conference at the Colvin Center, October 6th and 7th. That was hosted by MJD Wellness Center, and they also had the Health and Wellness Festival on that Saturday, which we also participated, and we also encourage a lot of student volunteers. Moving along, we talked about almost the first 6 months. We knew what our mission statement was. The purpose of the commission is to support continuing efforts for economic, political, social equality of opportunities for all women, with special emphasis on the needs of women of the city, and to serve as an advisory capacity to the council. So having said that, we crafted our bylaws similar to other commission for the Miami-Dade County. And like I said, we did approve our bylaws, and we are following it. We were sworn in June 21st, 2022. And we came up with an idea to make sure that we branded ourselves. And with that, I'm not going to take any credit for that, but I'm going to turn it over to our Vice Chairwoman and Narissa, just to basically talk about how we came up with our branding. And
So as we all know, branding is a huge part of any form of marketing that an organization or a business can have. And so we wanted to lead with that with our first event, which was the annual North Miami Commission for Women Tea Party. And we started off with, I think, about 3 different types of logos, and we all voted on one that we currently have as the North Miami Commission for Women, for all of the women that attended the inaugural NOMI Tea Party. You did come in contact with that logo and our branding colors. And you know, why do we do this? We want to ensure that when a woman comes to our event, they're not necessarily just connecting with an event, but they're connecting with an experience. They're connecting with support. They're connecting with a body of women that says, I am here to serve you. And so during that inaugural Tea Party, we talked about all of the agenda items that we wanted to do for the city. And tonight, we will roll out a few of them for the entire year for those that are watching at home, so you can mark your calendars and know what is forthcoming. Thank you.
Great. Along that line, we of course, budgeting is extremely important. And we asked the city, what is our budget? Do we get funding? And of course, we were thrilled to hear that we were getting a budget. I believe it was $5,500. And so we're excited because not only we need the logo, we needed also to get step repeat. We still have not had any business cards yet, but we'll work on that. And then we also decided that we would focus on supporting the women who are within the city through doing some business workshops. And along that line, I'm thrilled to say that we had the opportunity to meet the Youth Council, who came to our meeting and introduced herself. She came in, and we were very pleased to see her, and so that was good. So everybody knows that March is Women History Month, and we took that very seriously. So what we did, not only we collaborated with the Youth Council, we almost serve like a mentor to them, right? So they know they can reach out to us at any given time. And so we decided that we would participate in activities that focuses on women. One of those, not necessarily focused on women, but this was culture. We had a play that was done by the Haitian production. It's called Héritage, which showcase women leaders during some very hard times in the Haitian revolutions, and it was a very beautiful play. And the vice mayor did a reception for the crew. The mayor, Daniela Levine Cava, attended, and I was one of those speakers to assist in the process. So we really did a great job in terms of promoting the Haitian culture through that play, and we were thrilled to have that opportunity to participate. All right, so now we continuing on with the tea, and I don't want to dismiss this because this was the brainchild of Lori Glickman, because she said, I want to have a tea party. And we're really excited. We wanted to have this tea party in January because we know the Chinese New Year. And lo and behold, we could not because things happen. And so we ended up having the tea party as our very first initiative at the Museum of the Contemporary Arts, March 16th. And we also celebrated women history. And we recognized some key women of the city, and I think our vice chair already alluded to that. And then moving forward, I want to tell everyone that it was not an easy decision for us to choose from those 3 logos. We had 3 logos, and so we came up with this one. And so I just wanted, so that was very, very interesting. And then now we're on to October. No, we passed January, passed March. Now we go to May. May, again, we celebrated Haitian Heritage Month. And you know, we have a very high concentration of Haitian population in the city of North Miami. And most importantly, our focus is on the women. And so we attended the vice mayor's brunch at FIU campus, and it was a beautiful it was a beautiful brunch and with some great key speakers. You know, we had women who talked about business. We had displays. We had displays on various topics such as human trafficking prevention, domestic violence, gun violence, you name it. We had a lot of display, and we supported our vice mayor in that regards. Of course, you know, I'm always a big fan of the Haitian American Business News. Okay? Yes, I do. I'm a big fan, and I see the editor sitting here. I'm like, whoa. So it's a good thing I had my paper with me, right? And so the reason I brought the paper, because we did make history back in August 2022, our very own Vice Chairwoman, Dr. Naomi Esther Blemure, ran for the state for commissioner of agriculture, and she was the first Haitian American woman to have won the entire state as a Democratic candidate, and so we applaud her on that. And you know, I keep the paper because I'm like a historian, and so I have it right here in the front. And yeah, I'm like an old person, just keep every little thing. And so people wonder, why you have so many? I said, don't worry, there's a reason for it. And so I wanted to acknowledge that because she did win and make us very proud. And we wanted to acknowledge her for that. In September,
Thank you.
well, now we're in 2023, folks. So we already talked about March 2023, and I'm moving on to June. June 28, 2023, I attended the Spirit of Community Awards because I was being awarded the Spirit Award by the Florida Commission on the Status of Women. And this is I did bring a book for each one of you because they have the reports in here, and I did promise to bring one for each of our commissioners. It was held in Orlando, and I have one for Dr. Fleurmont. Madam Vice Mayor, if you would like to look at it, we'd be more than happy to. And so they acknowledge several women, and from 2022 honorees, like they go a year ahead, and they honor the 2022, and then so next year they'll honor. So it's an opportunity for us to nominate our leaders here. And so I passed the book around. I only have one. You can take a look at it because it's really good not only to be recognized at the local level, but also at the state level for the work that we do. And so I just wanted to share that. And one of the things that was interesting when I attended this, they also had a roundtable discussion where they hear voices of Florida women, and they discussed the report. And so this is Florida women. They had commissioners from every single state, county, and these are the different ones. And I give you the book so you have an idea who those commissioners are. And so this was in Orlando at Kaiser University, so I attended, and I thought we definitely need to share that. Okay? And then the next thing we did, of course, we had recess. September 14th, 2023, we participated at the 50th celebration, 50-year celebration of an evening of community with the Commission for Women. That was on Thursday, September 14th. And Dr. Blemure, myself, and Dr. I'm going to call you Dr. Nori, we attended. It was raining. It was raining, but it was a beautiful event.
And I attended
we had
as
a
well.
chance, we had a chance to network. So if you want to share anything on that.
This was actually it was a momentous occasion because the Miami-Dade County was celebrating 50 years of actually having established a commission for women, for women living in Miami-Dade County. And just being there, you had a commission from North Miami Beach, you had commission from Coral Gables. While we were there, we were able to see so many other cities that have established a commission, and it also further proved why we needed one in the city of North Miami, and the value that this commission can and will bring to the women that are living here in the city. We also got a chance to speak with the executive director for Miami-Dade County, and she is actually she's looking forward to working with us and for us to actually host meetings together, which is going to be really great in the sense that we will be able to host other cities, and women from other cities can actually attend meetings, and we would attend their meetings. In that sense, it causes a community of women, and although we have our own commission here in the city of North Miami, networking with other women in other cities to see what they're doing, and so that we can collaborate with one another, I think that's going to be a great opportunity. Overall, it was a phenomenal event. Again, it just underscored why the city of North Miami desperately needed a commission for women, and all of the great work that we can do together. Thank you.
So I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the addition in our team, Mrs. Rose Grand-Pierre, who joined us as a member. She joined us back in December 2022, and I have my notes here, And so we were excited, to enjoy the holiday of having her. And, we fellowshipped a little bit here after the meeting, and, give a little gifts to each other, and it was kind of nice. And then, I don't want to take over all the important things. I want to give an opportunity to everyone also to share some additional things that we have done. We did the beautiful conference, and I want to make sure we give thanks and acknowledge to Dr. Fleurimont, who's not here today, but she's watching us live. And I want to give her thanks because she labored with all of you guys, because I was on sick leave for that month, but nothing stopped me from staying behind the scene. I still end up being a presenter at the conference. But the event was beautiful. It was nicely attended, well attended. We had, and I'm going to just our vice chairwoman to talk about it because it was just that great. Go ahead.
So Commissioner Fleurimont wanted to champion a conference which would be an annual conference for the city of North Miami, where we focus on wellness. So it's not just about financial wellness, mental wellness, but also physical wellness, because we had a trainer there, and he got all of us moving and just talked about how we can maintain our health as women. And also we got a chance to talk about our finances and, things that we can do in order to ensure that we are thriving financially. And I would say most importantly, it was also an educational piece about AIDS and the HIV virus and how we can protect ourselves and to ensure that we are not living in denial, that we are getting tested every year to ensure that we are at optimal health. All in all, it was a phenomenal conference, and we look forward to hosting it this next year, 2024, for all of the women watching. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for those beautiful flower arrangement, Nori. Beautiful backdrop. Thank you. Everything was beautiful, and I had a chance to present on social determinants of health and wellness for the women, and they really appreciated that. So we want to give kudos to Dr. Fleurmont for that initiative. Other things that we have that we've done through the leadership of Dr. Demerit, we decided that it would be good to communicate just so we can have an idea of what we want to do, because her vision is to make sure that we address the needs of the women in the city. And so we came up with some planned activities for next year. Would you like to outline those activities, Dr. Demerit? Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move to the agenda. As you can see, I just recapped about 1 year and 6 months for all of you of what we have done so far as a commission, from April to April and then from April until now. And so we've done a phenomenal job as a team, and the chairwoman had to be present for all the meetings in order to have a meeting. So I just would have said, I thank God for that, because it's not easy. Because I do have a meeting right after this. And so we're going to move on to our next item. We're going to welcome the police chief here in the city of North Miami. Go ahead.
So we originally had that on the calendar. I don't believe that she is present, and so we are going to reach out to her office again
And table that for next time?
and reschedule that.
Okay.
And we can move on to the next item.
All right, so I'm not sure who can provide us with the budget. Can
I
you-
believe the current budget is 5,500, but Ms. Bias, please.
Ms. Bias, you want to tell us for the record?
Yeah, for the record, it's still the 5,500. I don't, if you want, in our next meeting, what I can do is that I can outline where we've spent money in the past
Yes.
and then how we want it to be allocated for this current year.
Right, one of the concerns we had,
Mhm.
and I'm going to share this, maybe we could share it privately, but I want to put it on the record as well, is that when we have outstanding payment to pay people,
Mhm.
we want to make sure we do it in a timely manner, so that way that it doesn't reflect on us as a commission. And so I know for a fact, I had sent email on behalf of our vice chairwoman requesting for payment for some things, and I don't know if that fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
But, Madam Vice Chairwoman?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And that's actually a pet peeve of mine, because especially when we're dealing with small business owner, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the city has a policy to pay within 45 days. But I just want to make sure also that the vendors are doing what they need to. Sometimes we get the vendors and they've not officially registered as a vendor, or they have not completed the invoice or put all the information. So please, I know I'm taking this personally, like as a small business owner myself, and that it is important, and thank you for highlighting that. Once you send an invoice to Akira, I'm sure that we are going to take the steps to make sure that they are paid in a timely fashion. The only thing that I say is that they've done their homework on their part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're moving on to programming for any questions before I move on?
No.
The commissioners? All right, so programming for the year, because we need to discuss whether or not we wanted to do those programs. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Demerit.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we have arrived. We are ready to go. We've been excited. And based on our experience from our last service year, and now we're here based on our research, we highlighted 3 events that we believe can become signature events for this commission. The first one, slated to potentially happen either in December or January, is a business expo that focuses specifically on the businesses of women in the city of North Miami. The details about that will develop as we formulate the committee for it. The next one is the Women's Month Social, slated for March. And then the last one is the Health and Wellness Conference, slated for May and June. So our goal here is to go ahead and motion and vote on it so that we can confirm that this is what we will be doing, and we can have assignments for each committee, and then we can get started with our programming.
Thank you, Dr. Demerit. Before we move on to voting, I want to make sure that we do not have any conflicts with the city, any of those activities, because I know for a fact, and our vice mayor, she does the human trafficking summit, awareness program in January, because I participated last year and this year as well in the panel. And so that is a very important project in January. We want to make sure there's no conflict.
And you know what? It shouldn't be. So this is part of the working as a commission. We can always collaborate.
Yes.
You can, I can be the one of the person, or any of my colleagues, or all of us can say, hey, we're going to. I don't want to say the word sponsor. You have your own budget. But we're going to collaborate.
Well, we
How
like
about
the
that?
word sponsor.
Right. We're going to
word.
collaborate. Because at the end of the day, we're doing similar things. You're just focusing it on the women thing, but we're trying to make North Miami a better place. So
Yes.
I don't think there's a conflict.
Okay, great. So, Ms. Grabierre, your thoughts on those 3 items?
I don't specifically have, thank you, Madam Chair. I don't specifically have any issue on these. I'm just looking forward to seeing the subcommittees
Okay,
putting into place so that we can just tackle whatever we need to tackle on time.
great, great. And so, speaking of that, we're going to dive into E, but I'm going to digress just a little bit because I want to make sure we acknowledge that the vice mayor also has the breakfast. The brunch that you do, the business brunch you do in March as well. Yes, the luncheon. So we want to make sure that we collaborate as well on that, so that way when we put our event together, there's no conflict.
And I would add, with your permission, if we cannot collaborate for one reason or another, we will support whatever the vice mayor will be doing in the city, because we are definitely here also to support.
Right. And so, just for the record as well, we want to make sure we support all the council.
Definitely.
And as well as the mayor. And so we want to make sure that they know that that's what we're here, and we're here to serve the city. All right, so we're going to move on to, yes.
Motion.
Go ahead and motion to approve the 3 main programs as our signature
I was gonna
program.
call for a motion.
I second.
I heard you say you was moving on to E.
No. I want to, before we move on to E, I want to call for a motion.
Okay, I didn't hear.
Go
it.
ahead,
Okay,
ask for a motion.
Just before we move for the motion, can we choose for the Business Expo, will it be in December or January? And for the Health and Wellness Conference, would it be May or June? Let's just be specific on the month. Thank you.
If I may, right now we're in October.
Mm-hmm.
To have a business expo, that takes some time to plan. I personally, because December, most people are in the holiday spirit, I would recommend that we do it for the new year.
Agreed.
So we can do it in January. We can pick the time that works for us, right? We don't have a date, but we can look at our calendars, and we can do that offline. Okay?
And then for the Health and Wellness Conference, because May is Haitian Heritage Month, and there's usually a lot of programming for the entire month, I think it may be best if we choose to do it in June.
I agree.
I do agree as well.
Yeah, and I also want us to be mindful of our Chinese colleague, Wonderful Tea, and the Chinese Year is in January. We can also have a little social networking if needed, have some tea.
We
to
have
celebrate.
this year, the February is the New Year, Lunar Year.
Oh,
for-
February.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
February 4, so
Okay,
we can have something around that.
okay, food for thoughts, everyone, for February. All right. That's not gonna be a signature event, but at least we can certainly have some, even before our meeting, we can do something nice. All right. Okay, I heard a motion for the 3. Any more discussions? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any no? Any abstention? Okay. Motion carries. We're moving on to our next item, which is program committee assignments. We discussed that it's important that we take accountability for the work as, not only as a team, but as an individual, so that we all can contribute in the process. And so, we make recommendations that we would have those assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our vice chair on this one. You want to talk about the subcommittee?
So there are several moving parts with putting an event together, with putting a program together. And I think that while we go into the program committees, it's very important that we also talk about the board subcommittees, because if we're able to identify women within our city that wants to volunteer on the Commission for Women, it will ensure us to actually put together programs and events that is inclusive and that we actually have the manpower to do it. And it's not just the board alone taking care of every detail, but we actually engage the women in the city, bring them in, and we're all able to work together. So I would suggest that we have a events committee, and that person be responsible to collaborate with Ms. Bias and find other women within the city that will take part in every event that we do. You know, setting up, breaking down, you know, all of these things have to be planned out in order for us to have a seamless day when we are actually putting something together.
Right.
Another thing, a committee besides the event committee, which I think is extremely important, is engagement, community engagement. We have spoke about having women attend the meetings, and now it's the time with this new fiscal year to actually go out into the community, have flyers out there and engage them, have conversations with them. I believe that this person who would oversee the engagement part of this should also be interested in possibly attending the HOAs. We have a lot of senior women that are going through different types of hardships, and a lot of the times they attend these HOAs and they talk about their concerns. Right now, we should be going out to meet them where they are. And then once we have effectively communicated that we exist, and then we can work on actually having them attend the meeting. So that would be 1, events, 2, community engagement, and marketing. I'm extremely big on marketing. I think that, you know, nothing happens by happenstance. You have to be intentional about it.
Branding,
and I think
yeah.
branding is one, but now actually utilizing our social media platforms to engage the women is something that is extremely important. And so those 3 committees, I think that starting with those 3, we will move forward in the direction that we want to go. So community engagement, marketing,
And
as
events.
and the
Events.
events, which is extremely important.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairwoman. I understand that there's a senior program within the city. And so, these are women too. But, so that we also have to, put that into our radar for us to address as well. All right, so any other thoughts, Dr. D?
Yes, so my understanding for us to be able to effectively execute today, item E on our agenda, program committee assignments, is for us, really, Madam Chair, for you to look at our 3 events that we just approved
Yes.
and move forward with assigning our board members to each of these
Yes.
events so that we could begin to form our separate committees to start the planning process.
Mhm.
That is what was allocated for item E. So I think we need to
Great.
go ahead and do that.
So, before I make any appointment, I always like to ask my team, what would they like to do? So I'm gonna open the floor to ask you, what would you prefer, since you're here? So you can raise your hand, and then I will acknowledge you, and then you tell me what you're interested in.
I'm good for the Health and Wellness Conference.
Okay.
I'm good for the Women's Month Social.
Wait, you are for the business,
The Health and Wellness
Health and
Conference.
Wellness.
health and wellness,
Mhm.
and which one did you pick?
Women's Month Social.
Women's Month Social. Okay, so that leaves us with the Business Expo. Dr. Flamont is not here because I know she's big on that. She's really interested in doing stuff like that. So we can have 2 commissioners, collaborate on that. Any one of you would like to work on that Business Expo? Not at this
I
time?
believe the last program service year that we did, you assigned a couple of people.
I did.
Or,
I think
yeah,
it worked.
so I think,
So
yeah,
I'll go ahead and,
that's
I'll go
fine.
ahead and ask, Nori and, Rose to
Rose.
work with Dr. Flamont on the
Yep.
Business Expo. And
I'm-
you all know I'm here for all of you. Whatever we need to do, I'm here.
And I know Florimond will want to also do health and wellness as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
and, we want to make sure that whoever's going to chair these events are the one leading the effort and have full autonomy in making those decisions and bring back to us, for support.
So just to recap what I have so far for the Business Expo, I have Nori, Rose, and Emanuela. For the Women's Month Social, I'll only call Naomi. And then for the Health and Wellness Conference, I have myself and Emanuela.
Right, and I'm the, what do you call that? You can be in any committee. I can come to any committee.
Well, ladies, don't leave me all by myself
No, we're not gonna leave
for
you.
March.
Yeah.
We are gonna work with you, you know that. Women,
I
but
got
you
you.
are going
I'll,
to
I'll,
get-
I'll jump in on March.
you're gonna get
Thank
some
you,
women, you're gonna
thank
get
you.
some women volunteers
Yes,
to,
for the
for
subcommittees.
the subcommittees.
And it is not,
All right.
we are not limited to
Yes.
the one that we assign.
No, we're not.
Wherever we
We're
can
not.
assist,
Correct,
we
correct.
will.
I think
These
working
are-
as a team has worked so
Yeah,
far.
But these are going to be the drivers,
But
right?
at
So
least
someone
we know who's going to drive
correct.
the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we've covered the program committee,
Mhm.
and so now we're on to subcommittees.
Correct.
We talked about social, community engagement and social, advocacy and policy, prevention and safety, and it almost seems like they can be, some of them could be merged together, like the health, wellness, violence prevention and safety could be one, right?
Well, the one so just to give you an idea of
Mm.
what was the thought process, community engagement and social media, we wanted to identify a woman that lives here in the city of North Miami who has that as a skill, and this is something that they love to do, and that they would volunteer their time for a 1-year period to actively assist the person who would focus on community engagement
Mhm.
and help facilitate. Advocacy and policy, we would want to, again, recruit a resident to work on advocacy and policy, just to make sure that we are actually presenting thoughtful policy to mayor and council to ensure that we are truly impacting the lives of these women long-term. With the violence and prevention and safety, this was specifically for women who may be experiencing some kind of violence at home.
Like
and
the,
they
like
do-
intimate partner violence?
Exactly,
Mhm.
and they do not have a safe space. So it's not just safety as a community, but
Mhm.
someone who's in danger, and someone else is causing that. And so we wanted to ensure that the Commission for Women actually has a point person for when these situations come up, and that person has phone numbers, that person has resources. If this woman needs to leave her home for whatever reason, and she needs a shelter, these kind of sensitive matters, we want to be prepared for them. Health and wellness, again, having someone who is geared to making sure that the women in the city are healthy and actually creating programming around health and wellness. Education and parental care. 18% of the women that live in the city of North Miami are single parent household with a female. So in other words, 18% of the women that live here are single mothers. And so we want to ensure that whether it's parental care or through education, we're actually partnering with the local schools and with the parents to give any assistance and guidance that we can.
Okay.
And last but not least, of course, finding ways to support women in business. We're looking for a business owner who is passionate about women in business and actually empowering women in business, that would lead that effort to identify what do the women who are running businesses in the city need and how we can be of assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairwoman.
Through the chair, may I make a motion?
Yes.
In the interest of time,
Mhm.
I would like to motion that we move item F to our next agenda,
Yeah.
so that we can get through the remaining
So-
items here.
So here's my recommendation for item F. What I would recommend is that if we can identify these individuals that we would like to take be the chair of these subcommittees, if you can submit those names or contact information, make those contacts, and then we can have a list together, and we can brainstorm through the chat. I think that would be great. And then that way we can, fully appoint them and make sure that we invite them as well to the next meeting. And so if they accept, that we can move for the record. We good?
Well, I believe that we first need to vote and approve that we're gonna have these subcommittees,
Yeah.
and then the
Right,
piece about, yeah.
right. So go ahead and, if I can ask for a motion for item F, that we will adopt these subcommittees.
So motion to approve board subcommittee and approval of assignments for 6 subcommittees: community engagement and social media outreach plan, advocacy and policy, violence prevention and safety, health and wellness, education, parental care, and women in business.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been second. Any further discussion in the motion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, any no? Okay, motion carries. Item G, I believe the Miami-Dade County Commission, we are at their 50th anniversary celebration. You've made some contact, Madam Vice Chair, and they wanted to collaborate with us?
So yes, so one, as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we would like to do is collaborate together and host meetings, monthly meetings with Miami-Dade County or other cities, and we would like to host the first meeting mixer, if you will, at the end
Meeting
of
mixer, okay.
meeting mixer at the end of December.
Okay, any objection to that?
No
Was-
objection.
That was a good recommendation. So, do you have an idea how we want to proceed on that?
I will reach out to the executive director for the Miami-Dade County Commission for Women. We
Mhm.
will choose a date in December, and I will bring that date back in our next meeting, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, well, you can share that before, because if for purpose of planning, you can share that through email.
Will do.
All right, so I think we've moving down to F, discussion regarding the chair and vice chair position. This was an item that was discussed throughout meetings and also in the chat group. If anybody want to comment on that, anybody want to comment on this? Because we've already made a comment on the chat already about this. All right, so the discussion was, how long is a term for the chair and vice chair? And so, anybody knows? According to the bylaws, let's look at our bylaws. According to our bylaws, sorry, I have to loose them up so that way I can get them when I need them. Our bylaws really give us the duties when we serve. It also tells us that how we are appointed by each council, and we should be permanent residents. It doesn't really say how long the appointment, but it does say that the membership should reflect racial, ethnic diversity. Each member shall demonstrate a commitment to improve the condition of women through community service. And when we have our meetings, but it doesn't really tell us what our term is, but I was told that typically it would be a year. What I discussed with the group is that we are 1 year and a half in our term, and we have 6 more months left to finish, and we are going into holiday season, and so we can plan as we already have established. Let's continue our planning, and then we can set for election in the month of March. So they can start in April and get installed in April. Is that something that we want to consider and put in the record? So we can put that on the item for, in terms of modifying the bylaws. I don't know, we have to ask the city attorney, so they can add the term.
So
in
I
there.
think that, I sit on
Mhm.
several boards. I think it is based on the will of the board. And so tonight, we can choose to vote on to continue for April, or we can choose to make the change now. It's based on the will of the board. Obviously, as servants, we're all serving in the same capacity.
Yes.
Nevertheless, someone has to lead. And if
Correct.
we have had Dr. Etienne for a year and a half, and she's been doing a phenomenal job, what is the will of the board? Do we want to continue for another 6 months, or we would like to bring about a change at this time?
And my beautiful vice chair as well. So, are we, Nori, you have some?
Well, I think that the board is, everyone have different opinion. For myself, I think the chair is doing a great job, and I will like to just continue, so that we can start and prepare to have the new committee, the subcommittee, and to have the new board, or continue to stay with the same chairperson for another year. So everybody is going to decide that by next year or April then.
Okay,
That's
so
my
Nori,
decision. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nori, are you motioning for us to keep for a year or 6 months? I think you said, a year. I just want to clarify that.
No, I say at least 6 months, but it could be another year. So that's mean a 2-year term or 3-year term like that, because we all have 3-year term.
So the board is the term based on your person who puts you in the seat. That's what the
that's right.
chairwoman explained. However,
My
the,
expiration is in 24.
yes, and your expiration may be at another time. However, that is different than the chairwoman who has been our leader for a year and a half. Is it our will, is it our desire to continue with Dr. Etienne for
I guess I
another
should be
6
asking
months?
the question.
Oh,
right?
well, I figured you didn't want to ask the
No,
question.
I'll ask the
so go ahead.
question. I'll ask the question,
Go
right?
ahead.
As a chairwoman, I think it's quite fitting to just ask the board how they feel. Would you like for us to continue our work as me as the chair? Yes or no? And if so, we'll move forward. I hear you. You said thank you. You said yes. Dr. Demerit?
So I
don't have an issue with moving forward until the 6 months. My only request is that the commission be made a priority. We're all very busy, but we all also committed to do this work. And so if we're going to commit to do this work, that means we all need to be responsive. We all need to be on time. You know how I am about being on time. We all
And
need to
I'm
be on
always on time.
time. We all need to be committed to excellence for the women of the city. So I do not have an issue with 6 months, but I do want to make sure I put that on the record.
All right. For the record, I have been attending every meeting on time, never been absent here in this chamber. And so, as a chairwoman, I think it's my responsibility to be here and set an example. We've had committee meetings where if I'm on the rain, driving somewhere it's not safe, I would say, okay, I'll catch up with you guys. You can catch me later, but that's off the record. But I want us to make sure that we're mindful about what she said, because it's very important that we are operating the spirit of excellence. And anybody who knows me know that we do not operate anything otherwise. So thank you, Dr. Demerit, for that. Rose?
I wouldn't see any issue in having you for as long as you you would like it to last. But if you choose 6 months, yes, I agree with you. We'll work with you under your purview, your leadership for another 6 months.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
So I guess let's put a motion on the floor to keep Dr. Etienne as our chairwoman for another 6 months.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. There were no no's, so motion carries. But I just want to let everybody know that.
Well, also, it's not just the chair, it's also the vice chair. So,
So I'm trying to
I'm sorry,
understand.
I'm not an attorney, but I've been doing this for a long time. You guys actually do not need a motion. You're already in place.
Yeah, we
You've
are.
already decided that,
Yeah.
you know,
We
that
just
there's no
keep-
need for an election.
There's no
So
discrimination.
then when that comes up, then that's when you would have to do the motion, because the intent is to keep it for another
As
6
it is.
months. And
Yes.
at that time you would, so there's no need.
Yes, and I also would make a motion that our vice chair has done a great job working with our, I want to say great, excellent job, really, working with us. And it's my goal for us to have another chair, because I want to move aside as well for succession planning to make sure that we have someone to take on the lead. And so I think we should, all in favor, keeping our vice chair, we good. All right. So I think we're done with the, we basically now for public hearing.
Yes.
And so,
I have just acknowledgement. So everyone who knows that Dr. Marie Etienne is a nurse practitioner, and she recently had the great honor of being elected as the president for the Florida Nursing Association, which we think is a great honor. On Sunday, we were present to just hear about her lengthy journey to this path, and I think I would love to publicly acknowledge you, Dr. Etienne. I know that as I was hearing your bio, I did not know that you have actually done all of this work. To now be the president of the Florida Nurses Association and overseeing over 333,000 nurses in the state of Florida and being at the helm to give them that leadership. We commend you, we salute you, and we say congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And thank you for coming. I'm still overwhelmed by the whole celebration.
Actually, I didn't say she's the first woman of color to actually hold this seat, and I think this is why this is so momentous.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anything about the state of Florida, we have a long ways to go, and so we're looking forward to seeing what will come out of her leadership at a state level.
So, just to let everybody know that I've been a nurse for over 25 for over close to 30 years. And I've been with the Florida Nurses for over 29 years in leadership. I've served as the director for the South Region, which has 3 counties, Dade, Broward, and Monroe, and I also served as the president-elect for the Florida Nurses, and now I'm the president. And so what does it mean? It means that we will advance the nursing profession forward, and we make sure that we have healthier Floridians. And I don't speak for one race, I speak for all nurses, because nurses are the backbone of healthcare, and we are needed wherever we are. When you're sick, who do you see? You see a doctor, but the nurse is at the bedside with you, making sure that you'll get your quality patient care and hopefully positive outcomes. And so that's our goal, really, is to promote wellness and making sure that the profession remain at the forefront and the decision-making in healthcare. All right, so without further ado, we have the floor open for public hearing.
Oh, it's on. Very good. Well, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
It's an
evening.
honor to be here. First time I've attended the Commission on Women.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Kevin Seifried. I've been in the city most of my life, and I'm now 72, so that's a long time. The few times I wasn't a resident is not relevant here anymore. And I'm here today this evening to make a very brief educational presentation on a campaign for victims of domestic violence in our city that I'm involved in. It's my 3rd year chairing this project, and I'm speaking to you today looking to broaden our base and develop more support within the city of North Miami for this project. I don't think any of you have ever been involved with it before, so it's going to be a first time for each of you to hear how we do, what we do, and why we do it. So we have a little visual here, so we'll explain that. If I find out where they put the zipper on these things, you know how it is. The campaign involves acquiring the basic products of life in an emergency kit. And essentially, I can go ahead and probably work off of this microphone. Yes, that sounds pretty good, or I hope it does anyway.
We can hear.
Okay, excellent, thank you. What we do every year, we try to get people involved in buying the core products: champagne, soap, deodorant, toothpaste, and toothbrush. And we seek money donors to pay for backpacks, and if we get lucky, we put a teddy bear in every backpack too, because that helps the police department build a bridge to younger children that happen to be adversely impacted by a very sudden and rather traumatic domestic violence issue.
Mm-hmm.
The first year out, we collected enough material for 60 backpacks. Our second year, we did 80. This year, our goal is 100, but, you know, that's the goal. If we don't quite get there, that's okay. The police department uses approximately 15 of these backpacks a month, which comes out to about 180 a year. So we cannot effectively supply the department for a year's worth of material, but we're doing reasonably well for what we've got to work with. Now, most of these items can be procured at the dollar stores. You know, $1.25 for the shampoo or soap or toothpaste or toothbrush. You figure an average person might spend $7.50 with taxes to equip one backpack. So if we got 30 people, for example, spending $22 as a one-shot deal, that would provide enough material for about 90 backpacks. And our goal is to find people willing to, you know, go out to the dollar store, buy some product, and bring it in. We got 30 people doing that. This campaign will be over in a week. we don't have 30 people doing that, but that's the target. And so we're here today to solicit your support and encourage you to reach out and get people involved. Now, the first 2 years, our project was heavily underwritten by the North Miami Knights of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And we thank them for giving it the leg up and getting us out the door. Last year, I got tremendous support from a sports league that I was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
It was kickball season, and a handful of the guys really knew how to coupon shop. And they collectively brought in material for at least 30 different backpacks. It was really quite remarkable. I don't know how to coupon shop. I freely admit I'm clueless. I'm a list shopper. I wouldn't know how to shop with a coupon if my life depended on it. But for those that really know how to do that,
Yep.
you could be highly effective and make your money stretch, and we could knock out this job in a week or 2 weeks at most. So I'm here to ask for support to get people involved. Yes, it'd be great if we all had some rich friends who would write that check for $1,000, but that's not the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get people on a daily basis that would go out and buy the deodorant, the toothpaste, the toothbrush, people who enjoy going to the dollar store. I'll let you know where we are in terms of donated material as of today. We've got 14 tubes of toothpaste, 40 bars of soap, 8 bottles of shampoo, 9 toothbrushes, and 7 sticks of deodorant. Oh, and 3 backpacks. We're just beginning with the campaign, and we need all the grassroots support that we can possibly get. We have a request out to Judy Brown, president of our Sunkist Grove Homeowners Association, to help us get backpacks from Dade County this year. And we have some other friends that have come on board to help us with some of the major contributions. Teddy bears today, they're running over $6 a bear wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
For 100 teddy bears, you're talking 600 and close to $50 by the time you get the freight worked in. Backpacks, bulk, are running over $8 a piece. So you want 100 backpacks, you're looking at, by the time we tack in the freight, you're looking at almost $900 right there. So the big money would go to buy the supplies. We need small donors, 20 or 30 people with a real sense of dynamism who understand coupon shopping and can get out there and make a difference. And you all are great fun. I want to thank you for your time. I should tell you, by way of disclosure.
Location?
Location,
Where
Well,
the
that's
donation?
point, yes.
where to drop off.
Your name and address.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. I forgot to tell you that. That's you know, all the years I've sat on planning commission, I remember the first thing to do was give your name and address for the record. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I live at 12665 Northwest 8th Avenue in North Miami. I work for the North Miami Foundation for Senior Citizens, which is at 620 Northeast 127th Street. And
The location for donations?
donations would be to me, but we've got wonderful people here, Commissioner Blinn and Commissioner Rose, and these ladies could help coordinate because we meet at the Planning Commission.
Good.
I currently serve on the Planning Commission. I also serve on the Citizens Investigative Board.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with the dais. I've wielded the gavel. I understand what it's like. You have my utmost support and encouragement. And I'm looking to get a copy of your roster that would have name, cell phone, and email address. And the reason for that, I'm hosting a party in my backyard on December the 9th, to which I'm inviting the Planning Commission, the CIB, and all of you. And at that time, we'll celebrate the conclusion of our campaign for domestic violence and turn over to the police department that night all of the material that we've collected. So, in order for me to get the invitation to you, I need a member of your board to volunteer to authorize your secretary to produce that roster for me, and the sooner I get that, the sooner I get work on the invitations. And this party will be December 9th in the backyard. It's kind of a sort of a champagne and strawberry night. Although at the price of champagne, I think this year it'll be Prosecco. but that's okay. You know, it's the thought that counts. And we should have a nice evening, a chance for some of the board members to mix and mingle, because I don't think most of the Planning Commission or CIB members or Women's Commission ever meet each other, with the rare
Thank you for your
exception.
presentation, because you came at the right place.
I would so hope so.
I was just going to refer you to Global Innovative Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that helps survivors of domestic violence. And so I will definitely share that information with the group to see if they can help with the collection as well. But as the commission here, I think we'll be more than happy to support this initiative.
We need some enthusiastic ladies who understand.
Anybody want to volunteer to take on this? December 9th, I will be out of town.
Oh, I shall miss you.
I will be out of town. I already know my schedule, but
There
I
you
just
go.
want to
I'll be
let.
lonely without you that night. Oh,
Okay.
great fun.
Thank you.
Thank you
for-
all.
Thank you
It's-
for
it's been a
sharing the
pleasure.
campaign.
Yes.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Breast Cancer Awareness
A
Month.
lot of things
so
happening, yes.
Thank you for sharing. This was quite timely. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
It's my pleasure, and I
Anybody
welcome
want
your
to
participation.
entertain the motion to volunteer to help with his campaign?
So I think that we should definitely make it a group effort, and he's specifically he's asking for specific items. So I think as a group, if we say that we will donate 10 bags with the items in it,
Mhm.
I think that that's something that we can do. But
Each of us?
just
Each of us?
collectively, no,
Each of us?
together we will donate it. As a commission, we can
As the
donate
commission,
10,
yes.
or we can do 20.
we-
It's up to us.
Okay.
Might I also add, proposing feminine hygiene products, because the majority of the recipients are going to be women, so that's something that we may want to include for
Well,
them.
that's not part of their initiative.
Oh, would you be
He wanted the
open?
basic.
Oh, the
savings,
basic?
Basic,
Okay,
life saving. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I took a
So-
picture of the
okay.
items.
I would be, sorry, may
Mhm.
I would be happy to bring you a couple of boxes of toys. Thank you.
Boys are welcome. You
No,
know, we
no.
don't.
Fluffy,
They
fluffy,
wanted,
no,
uh,
fluffy
teddy
teddy bear, yeah.
Teddy bears.
Yeah.
That,
Mhm.
that helps. Teddy bears are good, because we, in talking with the police departments, we understand that the teddy bear is an important bridge for the youngest children.
Yes,
Might be effective.
yes, I will buy them in bulk to assist you.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
Big difference.
We'll get them in bulk.
I would like to make a motion that the commission support his efforts by committing to 10 backpacks filled with all the items in addition to teddy bears.
And I would gladly second the motion.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking more of 20, but that's okay. 10 is fine. Just, I have some backpacks too. so
Okay.
They're not
Okay.
this color, they're blue. Okay, everyone, any questions at this time? We're on the last item.
We need to vote on it?
Hmm?
No, no questions.
Yeah, I think did somebody make a motion to support the 10?
Yes,
Yes.
the motion was made by
Anybody
Dr.
second it?
Demerit, seconded by Madame Rose-Gampier.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any no? No, okay, we all good? So if there are no questions, I want to acknowledge the distinguished editor from the Haitian Business News at the audience.
Please come forward.
Please come forward and say hello. A friend of the city. Thank you. All this heavy stuff don't go in the.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
This is a surprise. I think I know all of you here. My name is Guy Thomas. I'm the publisher of the Haitian American Business News, and I was kind of shocked to see that
Dr.
Madam
Etienne.
Chair, I had a copy of my newspaper.
Uh-huh.
As most of you know, this paper, the way we call it, may the good news be yours. You will not find bad information, bad news about Haiti, Haitian, and the community, the North Miami. No. We choose another path to promote our citizen, our elected official. So in other words, we do public relations,
Mm-hmm.
and may the good news be yours.
Thank you for
My
sharing.
name is Guy Thomas, and I am the publisher of the Haitian American Business News and the Haitian American Journal. She has a copy of the Haitian American Business News,
Yes,
and
and that
here is
was
a copy of
August
the Haitian American Journal.
26, 2022. So you see, I carry it wherever I go.
And
'Cause they had good news in
congratulations, Madam Chair, and good luck.
Thank you.
We look forward to interview you in the future.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone.
Thank you.
Any other questions, concern? If not, we will
Move
entertain a
to
motion.
adjourn?
There we go.
Second.
Okay, all right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, everyone. Have a good night. We want to give a last thanks to Ms.
Akira.
Bias for being so diligent in getting us our agenda and work with us to make sure that our needs were met. And thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you.
We wish you the most welcome.
Yeah, we want to share our contacts. That's fine. Yeah, you can share our contacts. Okay.